Thank goodness for egg salad, right?
Who wrote this script, man? Have they ever talked to a human before? Good work, guys. We did it. Wow, thank goodness for egg salad. Zach goes into a classroom and the teacher is like, who are you?
And you are?
Isn't it kind of your job to know that?
Hey, drop that beat. Drop that beat.
Oh no, please don't. Pick it up. Pick that beat back up. Hello, lovely people. My name is Emma. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. High School Musical. What a phenomena. We can all agree that High School Musical was one of the most important and brilliant films of all time. With the proviso that High School Musical 2 was, of course, the best one. I was obsessed with Troy angry singing and dancing his way across the golf course. Am I the type of guy who means what I say? Bet on it, bet on it, bet on it, bet on it. I haven't heard that song in about 10 years. I assume that was a perfect rendition. Obviously today we are not talking about the Disney Channel movie High School Musical because we all know how brilliant that is. Today our fare is something inspired by High School Musical. That is, of course, Sunday School Musical. Yeah, it's a real thing. Today's pointer is Sonic the Hedgehog. I will not be taking questions. Now, from the title and the general filmmaking and just sort of everything about it, you're going to think, okay, so innocent, no-budget production by a team who just want to make something they care about. No! It's the bloody Asylum. Creators of Sharknado, Alien Predator, that's a banger. If you haven't seen my recap, do check it out. The Asylum are like my nemesis. They make cheap, lazy knockoffs of big-budget movies, purely to deceive mums shopping in DVD bargain bins. So, this film's title's looking like this? No excuse. Let's dive straight in to Sunday School Musical. We're immediately introduced to our protagonist in the form of a song. I do like when a musical fucking goes for it minute one. We're taught that Zachary is a cool guy by seeing him do things like gently sliding down this banister. Careful, dude, we can't afford a stunt coordinator. As per the song, he's got dreams. He's got ambition.
I got goals, and real soon they're all gonna be mine.
Not to nitpick the very first song, but surely his goals were already his. I know, it rhymes, and that is more important than making sense. Just protagonist things, oh my gosh, he's late! Why is everyone late in movies? For no reason. It pisses me off. Luckily, Zach is just in time for a community choir competition. At this stage it is, I hope, deliberately cringe. They're singing This Little Light of Mine with some clappy choreo. The audience of judgmental teenagers? What competition is this exactly? They are so bored, this one girl is reading disaster. It's around this time, the crucial 2-minute marker, that I realised, per Asylum's custom, the title ripoff is not always the movie ripoff. And that actually the plot of this is less High School Musical and more Pitch Perfect. It's Christian Pitch Perfect, set in a high school. We have this moment because there's always got to be a romance in these teen movies. This girl, Savannah, loves the way he went, ooh. It is my opinion that we could and should have cut off this number much, much earlier. It's just the kids singing and the audience looking like they want to die over and over. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe you're supposed to feel like you want to die as well. Zach does a Pitch Perfect and steals the limelight, starts harmonising, and everyone is loving it. I mean, that is enough to completely win over the audience. I just want to do a side-by-side of the audience reaction to Let It Shine and Let It Shine with a bit of a harmony. Oh my god, a harmony! I mean, to be fair, I do kind of go apeshit when I hear a tasty harmony, not gonna lie. Another member of the choir, Andrea, starts harmonising as well, and the people are losing their minds. Everybody is so enraptured by the same performance. It's really not that different, guys. The dancing they're doing for this song is so insane. Why are you pirouetting right now? They get a terrific round of applause, and we learn that we're still waiting for the Bellevue Boys School Choir.
Let's all just hang tight for a few minutes.
Alright, that's funny. That's funny, it's a funny bit. Community church group getting angsty about starting bingo on time, that made me laugh. You win this round, Sunday School Musical. We learn that the choirs are competing for a spot at the state finals because this is Christian Pitch Perfect, but holy shit, the prize money is 10k. We learn that the bored teens of the audience, including Eye Contact Girl, whose name we will later learn is Savannah, but you might as well know that now. These guys are the Crossroads Christian Choir. Zach, our protagonist, currently belongs to Hawthorne Church Choir. Do you see now how I've laid out the board symmetrically so that each choir is on each half with our protagonist in there? It's very clever. You'll understand as we go on how incredibly clever this layout is. There's just this one guy here with a piece of paper. I'm guessing he's the judge? No one has mentioned him. There's not been any shots of him taking notes or anything, so I just... Predictably and unfortunately, Crossroads Choir sucks. Savannah is pulling faces the whole time like she doesn't want to be there. In fact, none of them look like they're having a good time, except for a character who I at the time noted as Glasses Guy. For now, all I will direct your attention to is the fact that I have used cat pins for this character. That is because he is my favourite and objectively the best character. We'll come back to this chap later. Honestly, the vibe of them all hating their lives, that's what kills a competition. They have zero charisma, they're not even smiling, like, this is a competition. What are you guys doing here? It's creepy, it's weird, this one girl refuses to even sing. Maybe it's my personal deep love of musicals or stupid films, but some of this is funny. Glasses Guy gives refusing to sing girl a big shove and she finally joins in for the last note but comes off way too late. It's funny. It doesn't make up for the rest of it, but those actors did do a good job in that bit. They finish and nobody even claps. Like, now I'm thinking that Zach and his Hawthorne Choir are a bunch of assholes. Like, they're not even gonna polite clap? Fucking rude. At this point, I thought my speakers had broken because there's just no sound. They finish the song and the judge guy with the pen and this redhead whoever are having an important hushed conversation, but there's literally no audio. It's terribly awkward. She comes up to the podium to share some news, which you will be able to predict if you've seen Pitch Perfect, because this plot is stolen. The Bellevue Boys Choir can't make it because of a food poisoning incident involving egg salad. Bingo Lady looks directly at the camera here. Hi! Anyway, due to the egg salad incident, both Hawthorne Choir and Crossroads Choir will be moving on to states. And for some reason, Crossroads are really happy about it. They looked like they wanted to die while they were singing on this tiny stage. Like, why is this good for them? The girl who straight up refused to sing looks ecstatic. Like, what?
We made it, guys. We finally made it.
Good work, guys.
Well, thank goodness for egg salad, right?
Who wrote this script, man? Have they ever talked to a human before? Have any of these actors talked to a human before? Good work, guys. We did it. Wow, thank goodness for egg salad. The cast looking like they're aliens in disguise trying to pass for humans is kind of an Asylum film trope. Meanwhile, Hawthorne, despite getting into states, are freaking hectored that these clowns got to slide in despite being garbage. I don't know why they're so bummed. They also got in. These guys are easy competition. Like, they're just kind of being rude assholes again.
Hey, sweet win.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Just say congratulations.
Hey, drop that beat. Drop that beat.
Oh no, please don't. Pick it up. Pick that beat back up. Okay, I'm being an asshole, but some of the friends from Hawthorne Choir are actually playing a pretty cute game. One of them points something out and another one of them has to freestyle rap about it. It's pretty nice. We learn via the rap that Zach, who still doesn't have a name at this point in the film, by the way, his father is a soldier and he's on tour at the moment. But he'll be back soon. Hooray. Andrea, I believe the first character in the film to get a name, she has a go at the rap game and takes the opportunity to mock Crossroads Choir again. I guess they're high school kids, so it's on brand to just be mean for no reason, but still. Cut to Zach's home and he is making dinner and saying grace with his family, his mum and his brother. His mum is clearly busy and taking care of the two kids while dad's away, so she wasn't aware that his choir competition was today.
We made it to state.
Oh, Zach, that's amazing!
Ah! Zach! How do you spell that? Write it down for me. We have a name, people! We have a name! I am going to mention the cinematography here because it does suck to an unbelievable degree. It looks like the worst student film. You know, like the student film by the one guy that never pays attention in class? It's lit so poorly. Look at this shadow on Zach's face. We have this one side shot of this table, and then a close-up of Zach and the mum at perfect right angles. We are breaking all of the rules here. The sound design is also piss poor. Anyway, Zach's mum's lost her job. I thought from her costume that she was probably in medicine, but I didn't write it down in my notes because I was like, well, they don't wear scrubs home to dinner, that's insane. The family is going to have to move back in with Aunt Janet until they get back on their feet. She lives like 45 minutes away, which is like really not that bad. Anyway, you can see what's coming. Zach is going to have to move schools, church, and by extension, choir.
If Dad was here, we wouldn't have to move.
Yes, you would. What would that change? Unless he means if his dad wasn't a soldier and he had a different job? I guess Zach is just upset because he's not making sense. Uh-oh. Zach's up on a roof and a beat has started. You know, sometimes in a movie, a location kind of is a character of its own. That's the roof in this scenario. The roof is a sort of safe place for Zach where he expresses his feelings, usually in the form of song. So Zach goes to the roof to be sad. I was kind of excited here because it was looking very Troy on the golf course in High School Musical 2. Yeah, it's an angry dance! Zach does go all footloose, but only for like 3 seconds and then it's over. It felt like we got all the build up to a big dance number and then it just never happened. What a tease! Andrea shows up on the roof.
You seem stressed.
Well, you just got here! Zach tells Andrea that he's moving, he just relays the information that he just got.
I want to feel for you, but you can't just leave like this.
What? It's not his fault!
We need you. We're going to States.
Well, I guess you're gonna have to go without me.
Oh, that's it.
What's it?
Hold up 1 minute.
Ah! Zach and Andrea have a little sad sing-song fight, in which they're basically just saying how they feel, but to the beat. It's mostly terrible, but this little bit I kind of liked.
You must be blind if you can't see the pressure this puts on me.
I don't know, I kind of felt it, like the way they're harmonizing with each other, failing to see from each other's perspectives. Damn it, I just love musicals. I am also such a sucker for young adult movies that have male-female relationships with no romantic subplots. I don't know, what I'm trying to say is there was like 7 seconds here where I was really enjoying myself. Andrea walks away. Tension. Then it's like the next week, I guess? And Zach is walking to school? It's very empty. My guess is that they were filming in a school over the summer or something, because whenever there's a background character, it's like one character, and it's someone we know from one of the choirs. So they had extras for maybe like a scene or two. Most of the time it looks like the school is deserted. Zach goes into a classroom and the teacher is like, "Who are you?"
And you are?
Isn't it kind of your job to know that? We forgive him though because he has a banging yellow tie, like holy shit. The shot cuts to an over the shoulder of Zach and the teacher's voice cuts out like, "Use audio from the other angle. You don't have to cut it to..." Have these people never watched a film before? Anyway, this is perfect because they're assigning new pairs today. Huh? Is it normal in schools in the US to walk straight into an economics class on your very first day with a teacher who's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Because I'm not completely sold on the realism here. Due to the lack of extras, as I mentioned earlier, there are like 5 kids in this class. I guess this is a food class because they're making desserts today. Huh? Look, if I seem overly confused at this bit, just know that this is not how it went down in my school. When I did food tech, we cooked on our own and everybody had aprons and it was in a big kitchen, not just a regular classroom. Like, how are they going to cook desserts in here? Is there an oven? Zachary gets paired with Savannah. I see what you're doing, Sunday School Musical. What are you doing, Zach? And why is it so relatable? Does my boy have ADHD? The sound for this bit is so quiet it feels awkwardly silent again, but that doesn't matter. The important thing is that Savannah is the eye contact girl from Crossroads Choir. I cannot get over how insane this cooking class is. They have a recipe book that they're just following. They have all their ingredients set out for them and there's like 3. What are they supposed to be learning here? Is this why American food is bad? Get a microphone over here, please! The loudest thing here is the butter. I'm going crazy. Sorry, it's not butter, it's shortening. I don't know what that is. It was as Zach used his finger to put this shortening into the bowl that I also realised they did not wash their hands at the start of this tech class. This is truly a cursed scene. Savannah teaches Zach how to crack an egg.
Thanks, boss.
What?
What's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I'm with Savannah. What do you mean?
Nothing. I mean, you're just really on top of things, you know, like, student council, yearbook, choir, eggs.
When did Zach learn this about her? They were just introduced, weren't they? Has he been stalking her? They aren't getting on well now because Zach is an asshole. Heaven forfend a woman know how to do something better. Oh, Savannah's better at cracking an egg than me. I better be rude and defensive. She was politely helping this boy with this task and then he got all bitchy about how she's smart in loads of ways. Fuck you, Zach. He's so intimidated by her as a strong woman. Zach is off to a new class with a teacher that actually expects him. Hooray! It's Mrs. S and she teaches, I assume, Bible studies. This is either a Christian school or this is a weirdly popular extracurricular. I think it's a Christian school. Pardon? This is like a Nolan film. It's like deliberately difficult to hear loads of what's going on. I guess for unimportant dialogue, they were like, oh, it just doesn't matter, so we won't record it. So half of this film makes it feel like you need a hearing test. Dun dun dun. It's Glasses Guy from Bad Choir, aka Miles, the best character. He is camp, and I love it.
What on GGE are you doing in my Bible study class?
There's always one. The other guy from the choir, I forget his name and he's not that important, so I didn't put him on my board and I didn't write down his name. Sorry. He's blonde, I think. He offers to share his textbook with Zach and Zach is so shocked at someone being nice. I guess because he and Hawthorne Choir were such arseholes all the time, he's really surprised at someone just being polite. Look at this camp nerd. I love him.
What?
I'm on to you.
This bit made me cackle out loud. Dude, this is the only good character. At this point, unless I missed it somehow, I'm pretty sure we still didn't get Miles's name. These crappy movies don't seem to know that it helps our comprehension as viewers to know who the fuck these people are. Like, being able to identify them with a name is helpful in a film? It's so weird. Anyway, Miles thinks that Zach is there to spy on them for the other choir. Zach goes home and sits on the porch with Aunt Janet, and what is this shot? And the close-ups? Ew, dude. Anyway, Aunt Janet floats the idea of Zach joining the new choir. And Zach is like, but they can't sing, and in this case, I'm kind of on his side. Zach's mum appears and says that his dad's military tour has been extended for another 6 months, so he won't be coming home anytime soon. Wah wah. His mum pretends to cry on Janet's shoulder for a minute, and Zach's back on the roof. The roof of emotion. I got deafened when he started singing because everything was so quiet in the dialogue that I cranked the volume all the way up. The actual musical numbers, because they were obviously recorded separately in like a studio, those are all a consistently normal volume.
I've never been so scared.
Yeah, you look it. This song was so... It's hard to describe. I don't know if it's auto-tuned or like it's just the way he's singing is so different to like how little he's moving his mouth in the scene. It feels like it's being sung by a different person. With all the singing, apart from the actual choir performances, with all the singing in this film, it feels like they're mouthing along, which they are, but it shouldn't look like it. But also hear the lyrics are dog shit. The sort of Hawthorne Church leader lady, I guess she's an administrator, she's in charge somehow. She's having an intense phone call about money. They really, really need the 10k prize money to keep the doors of this church open. Andrea is here to talk about choir, I guess. It was hard to know because when we cut to the reverse shot, we also change audio and I can't fucking hear the dialogue. The important thing to note is, with Zach gone, Andrea is taking lead of the choir. Cut to a goldfish bowl. That is an unhealthy environment for a fish. Don't keep fish in little round bowls, please and thank you. Anyway, we're at Savannah's house. The fish is a really weird cut because we don't see that in the room, or I think ever again. So it just makes you feel kind of disoriented. So you're just like, how come we looked at that fish?
Hey, Savannah Banana.
Aw, I love him. World's best dad, who is also the local church pastor, has just finished work and wants to know if Savannah needs help studying. One absolute leg end. He's worried Savannah might be overdoing it, with all her studies and leading the choir. Uh-oh, Savannah's the reason they suck. So he tells her that if she ever gets overwhelmed, she can do what her mum always did.
Simply put a piece of bubblegum in her mouth and she would blow a big bubble.
What? Back at school, Zach and Savannah bump into each other, which is amazing because they seem to be the only two people here. They bump into each other and then carry on their separate ways, and I wonder why that even happened at all. What was the point in that scene? What plot did that advance? Some of the shots, the cutaways, the kind of in-between bits in this does feel like, oh shit, we're running 5 minutes short on runtime. Go through the B-roll. What have we got? We've got goldfish. We've got that bit where they bumped into each other and then we cut the actual scene. Just stick that in there somewhere. Maybe that's being overly generous. Maybe they just thought, yeah, that can happen too. Home ec time again. They're making fortune cookies. Why? Why would you learn that in school? Savannah suddenly goes all hee girly cutesy. I guess she likes Zach again? And she asks Zach to join the choir. Also, I want to know, I've been calling him Zach because that's what everybody from the start was calling him. For the last 10 minutes, everyone has been calling him Zachary. And now I don't know what to believe. Zach says no to the choir invite, and blessed be, he does it in a polite way. He's growing! He just expresses loyalty to his old choir. They're both nice about it. Phew. Why are the desks sideways in this classroom? Or are the desks facing forwards and the teacher's desk is just on the side? What is going on in here? Every classroom in this school is like a non-Euclidean space. I just can't comprehend it. Yeah, no, okay, Mrs. S's desk is at the side of the room and they all talk to her by craning their necks round. Who designed this space? The important thing is this is where we learn Miles's name. Great name, same name as Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog. If I only had a Tails pointer.
The Last Supper was painted by the brilliant Leonardo da Vinci.
Give this man an A. You know he deserves it.
It depicts each apostle's reaction when Jesus said one of them would betray him.
I cackled again. Give this guy the Oscar. Everyone is literally falling asleep because Miles's presentation goes on so long. This is the teacher's fault, okay? You have to enforce a time limit. Do not blame my man Miles for being so educationally motivated. Next up is Zach, and he didn't do his homework, so he has detention. But Miles is here to save the day. He reminds Mrs. S that she has her faculty meeting tonight. So he offers for Zach to help clean the choir room instead. And I'm wondering, how dirty is the choir room? Zach shows up at the choir room and there's this pointless interaction where Margaret, the choir girl who refused to sing at the competition earlier, is just in the way and doesn't notice Zach for a minute. Why is that in the script? More importantly, in comes Savannah, and she's initially very pleased to see Zach until she learns that he is just there for detention. To which she has no reaction.
Mrs. Stewart sent me here for detention.
Okay, everyone.
There really is one good character in this whole movie. I'm so glad he gets the screen time he deserves. Crossroads Choir picks up their music books and starts singing, and Zach is laughing his arse off. And then he tries to leave after literally all he did was wipe off the blackboard. Young sir, you did not do your Bible studies assignment. Take your punishment like a man. Savannah straight up asks him to stay and help, and he is again rude AF and pieces out like, nah, you guys need a miracle. Zach can be such a bitch. They literally just need a director who can shape the harmonies and inject a bit of energy into the room. Zach, it wouldn't be that deep. You jerk. Back at home, Zach is eating an apple because he's an asshole. He phones Andrea, so I guess they made up at some point. I feel like that would have been more valuable to show than all the stupid classroom stuff we saw, but whatever. She's too busy to talk because Hawthorne are working on their song for States. At school again, Zach is bored and sad. This is probably a good time to point out how insane Zach's wardrobe is. Look at this number. Neon yellow shirt with green camo hoodie? I mean, honestly, bring back the zebra print from earlier. This is not tight, my man. Zach practices some choreography in the bathroom for way too long. I thought maybe Miles or someone was going to come in and be like, that's what we need for the choir. But no, he just sort of quietly finishes and then leaves the room. This is a very, and then this happens, and then this happens, and this also happens kind of script. Like they forgot to come up with reasons for things to happen. So they just do. Cut to Andrea's choir, Hawthorne practicing, and they sound great.
Stop. I don't think that's gonna work.
Okay, I stand corrected. Apparently it's not working, and the only one who could fix it is Zach. Is Zach a Mary Sue? It's a bit tense in the room, so they just carry on practicing, and then we cut to Savannah trying to lead Crossroads Choir, which actually sounds fine, except for this bit here where Savannah pretends to sing. Girl, we can tell. Savannah calls for a 5-minute break, which means for some reason she collects everybody's sheet music. I am struck by the fact that evil camp nerdy Miles also plays the piano. This man can do it all. So much talent. The blonde dude whose name I don't remember starts playing Amazing Grace on the harmonica. Kind of like that, but a lot better. Zach pops his head in and is like, cool, man. You should use that for the choir. And Savannah and everyone is like, whoa, would that work? Guys, it's a harmonica. Calm down. You know what happens. Zach feels compelled to help the choir.
Music isn't something you learn, it's something you feel.
With respect to Zach, as much as music is about feeling and creativity, it is also very much something that you learn. Because it's a musical, Zach expresses this sentiment through song. He pulls someone into a choreographed dance routine. He has a little bit about whether you're black, white, purple, or green. It's all the same with music.
I can't help myself, 'cause it's all over me.
Honestly, some of this is a bit of a bop.
God is the reason.
Do you know, for a bit there, I forgot this was a Christian movie. Zach has everyone bopping, even Miles gives him a little piano. A lot of the dance routine is in close-up, I noticed because I wanted to see if I could learn a little bit of it. Don't laugh at me. But because so much body is cut off, it just looks a little odd. I could be doing anything down here. You don't know. The choir votes to allow Zach to join, but he still needs to think about it. Zach, we're halfway through the movie. Get your head in the game. Back to Hawthorne Choir packing up after rehearsal, and Zach has come for a visit. So now I'm a little bit confused about the timelines, but whatever. Zach drops the absolute bombshell that he is helping Crossroads Choir with the competition. So I guess he has decided. That was anticlimactic. Andrea feels really pissed off now. She feels like he's gone away to help the competition. Even though Zach just says he misses being part of a group, let the man have his hobby. He misses his dad. Cut to Savannah and Miles working on some project that involves cutting and sticking. Miles is being Miles to the max. I love it. Savannah gets the all-important text from Zach. Finally, dude. It's go time. It's getting awkward between Savannah and Miles because clearly he is a bit of an anxious perfectionist and afraid of change. Which leads to this.
I'm the preacher's little girl, and my choir's gonna sing.
This song, the choreography, guys, it's so funny. Honestly, if I could just play the entire thing for you, I would. It's fabulous. It's so camp. Miles then takes it up with Zach at the end of class. He's pretending to be grateful, but slyly suggests that it must be hard not to have time for anything else. Even I don't know what he's getting at, but I find it awkward that they have this entire conversation right in front of the teacher. The teacher tells Zach he needs to pull it together and try harder, and I really feel like I've missed something. Like, the movie is telling us that Zach is distracted by the choir he just joined because he has no other group activities. He already wasn't doing his homework before the choir became a thing. Did the movie forget? Am I just confused? Savannah happens to stop by outside the classroom at the tail end of this conversation, just as Mrs. S is telling Zach that if he doesn't get a B or higher on his next test, he will not be allowed to perform with the choir. Cut to Savannah's house. She is going through her clothes and she's in a mood when she finds her favourite shirt has been shrunk in the wash by her dad. She yells at nice guy dad for a bit. It's very awkward. Man, I had to crank the volume to like 100 for this scene. The dad is so mumbly and the recording is piss poor. It basically sounded like, "No, Dad, you don't understand! Get out!"
Sometimes we don't understand why God gives us the challenges that he does.
Appropriate reaction to that statement. The dad is like, God has a plan for us, and Savannah tells him that she's his daughter, stop preaching to me. I am with Savannah here. She has to yell at her dad to get out of her room 3 times when she's upset because he just ignores her and says some pointless shit like, "Yeah, your mum's dead, but God has a good reason. Now it's peer tutoring Tuesday." Catchy. And Zach is weirdly reluctant to be tutored, even though he has this ultimatum from his Bible studies teacher. Zach and Savannah are in the brightest sunshine yellow and lime green outfits today. She helps Zach understand a proverb, and of course it is relevant to their situation. It's all nicey nice until Savannah accidentally lets slip that she heard Mrs. S give Zach his ultimatum about choir. This is actually a nice scene between them. Zach admits that he's embarrassed, but thanks Savannah for her help, and they both have a little joke.
I know that God will only put as much on my plate as I can handle.
Tell that to Savannah's dead mum, Zach. Savannah does actually open up and tell Zach about her mum, and they connect over Zach missing his dad too. Zach actually responds to Savannah with proper human empathy. He doesn't even give her any crummy religious platitudes like the dad does. This is an epic win for our favourite good Christian boy. What am I saying? Miles is our favourite Christian boy. This is an epic win for our second favourite Christian boy. Andrea and Hawthorne are practising a cute little dance number. They're having a good time until church head lady comes in and says, "We need to talk." If I can take this moment to say, with apologies to Miles and the good scenes of the kids, this woman is the best actor in the entire film. Especially considering she's not in it very much, she seriously has emotional layers. I actually believe how she feels when she wells up and gives them the truth. Anyway, the church is out of money and Hawthorne is going to be closing its doors at the end of the month. Dun dun dun! Church lady, Mrs. Howell, possibly? She tells the kids that it's not about them, it's not their fault, and while the money from states would help, they don't have the money to send them to states. Andrea storms out. Where does she go? To the emotion roof, of course. Meanwhile, Zach takes his Bible studies test. There's a shot of a basketball hoop for no apparent reason, and then we cut to Zach and Savannah post-test. He plays a little oh dear, oh no switcheroo game, only to reveal that he got an A-. That's the stuff, dude. Good job. Zach and Savannah go to the cool kid roof themselves. You can tell this is a big moment in the relationship between them because that roof is pretty special.
So, this is where you used to come?
Used to? Like 2 days ago? Has it been weeks and this film is just giving no indication of the time passing? They're having a typically cutesy, awkward conversation when a pair of legs appears. Obviously, it's Andrea. By the way, the only character whose outfits I like.
I thought choir rehearsal was going great, thanks for asking.
Alright, chill out, you only got there 3 seconds ago. He hasn't had a chance to ask. In the grumpiest way imaginable, Andrea tells Zach that Hawthorne is closing down. Kind of as if it's his fault somehow. She even digs at him for going to a church that has money, like it's his fault that he had to move. Andrea is not handling this very well. Church time! Dad Pastor is giving a sermon about love and unity. Directing a lot of it at Savannah. Using his position as pastor to solve his personal problems, that's a smart move. But it gives Zach an idea. He passes a note down to Savannah, which she gives him the nod for before passing it along to someone behind her. The note keeps moving and passing along between members of the Crossroads Choir. The contents of which are finally revealed when it gets to Miles. Past Dad says the church choir is going to perform and people are not excited. I love the response of this guy. Welcome to church, dude. Obviously, having now had Zach's help, they sing beautifully. There isn't actually any Zach-esque input here, they just sing in key now. But this one guy likes it so much, that's all that matters. Genuinely, the shot of that one guy is the only reaction shot in this entire scene that they cut back to. It's so funny. Savannah and Pasted have a nice little hug. She thanks him for the sermon. It's cute. Crossroads Choir approaches the remnants of Hawthorne Choir with their proposal. Apparently it's not against the rules for two choirs to join together. Margaret has read the whole rulebook. Andrea is still resistant, but Zach has a stunning moment of exemplary interpersonal skills. He tells her they need Hawthorne because those guys are so good. Even Miles gives Andrea a compliment, and she relents. The choirs merge. Look at this little dork with his stripy shirt and his keyboard. This is my son. Be nice to him. The choirs are together for practice. Andrea has a feisty interaction with Savannah, which the latter tactfully ignores. She's a good girl. They start warming up, but Andrea is too loud. She's not used to singing with the piano, so she can't hear herself. Bitch, it's a warm-up. You don't have to be perfect. I'm with Crossroads on this one. The newbies are being overly fussy and rude, and it's literally only the warm-ups, and yet they're getting annoyed. Bitches, Crossroads are doing you a favour. Just play it their way for 1 minute. God. Zach tries to get through to Andrea with song, and once again I nearly deafened myself. Because the dialogue is so quiet that I had the audio cranked all the way up, then the music came in really loud, I nearly died. I will be suing the audio mixer. Zach sings this song about togetherness, and everybody lightens up. Miles is one of the first ones to join in singing. I love it. There's a key change, some awkward dancing, all is well. We have a scene where Zach is being a good boy at home, States are tomorrow. This scene is kind of pointless, it's just showing that he's happy and about to go to States, which is unnecessary because then we get a title card. They go in to register and oh no.
COTGYC.
What?
Church of the Gospel Youth Choir.
Miles spots the choir that has won this competition for the last 3 years in a row. This one guy from the group gives them the stink eye. I shall be referring to him as Stink Eye Guy. I assume every group is required to register one sassy member. I'm guessing this is that choir's Miles. The former champions go up and sing this song and do a little jig, and it's okay. It's really nothing that special considering they're meant to be the hardcore competition, especially because the entire choreo is just the dad shuffle. But the judges and the audience are loving it. There is no accounting for taste. Zach and Savannah are just enjoying the performance in the audience because they're good sports. Stink Eye Guy from COTGYC whispers something at the judges' table. He's pointing in the direction of the combined choir. Savannah has a little nervous moment and runs outside to do her mum's bubblegum routine. It's kind of cute. Then Zach gives her a homemade fortune cookie.
You will get a fortune and then win the state's competition. It's not that good.
Guys, I think I like this movie. A judge comes into their changing room or waiting room or whatever and is like, hey, I hear this is 2 choirs combined? That's not fair, I can't allow that. And he will not be moved. Luckily, shy Margaret has an idea. Her idea is basically to argue back and say that, hey, we combined 2 very different groups of people and made it work. Which is not really an idea, but everyone's on board, so who cares? They go to the judges' table and put forth their arguments with supplementary Bible quotes. They come to an actually pretty nice agreement, I think. The judge says they can't be eligible for the prize, it wouldn't be fair, but they deserve to go up there and sing. Also, Margaret has taken off her glasses and let her hair down, aka the hot girl movie transformation. I have no idea why. She's just hot now. The Crossroads Hawthorne Choir gets up on stage and give it their all. Bro, I am such a wet teabag. Zach's dad shows up at the doorway while he's singing and I nearly cried. Everyone joins in, the choreo is still awful, but they're all having a great time. Those are my children up there. They bring the house down. Zach reunites with his dad. COTGYC win for the 4th year in a row. And Stink Eye Guy takes the mic and says, hey, thank you, but actually, we want to give the title and the award to the true winners, Hawthorne Crossroads. That's really nice, but Jesus, what an abrupt change of heart. He's the one who dobbed them in like 5 minutes ago. They sang really well and he was like, dang, never mind. The announcer and the judges all smile and clap, so I guess this is fine. Just because the winners decided that a team that wasn't allowed to compete won? Church choir competitions are really weird. Of course, they give the money to Hawthorne Church to keep those doors open. Zach and Savannah have a little kiss, and roll credits. The first half of this movie was real hard going for me, especially because, for a musical, the sound design was so poor. It was really hard to hear a lot of the dialogue. That meant that when it cut to a song, it didn't sound remotely diegetic. It didn't sound at all like it was being sung by the characters in the scene. A lot of the story is cliché and stupid. It's a low-budget Asylum movie. It was probably made in like 3 days. But dang, by the second half, I was in it. Some of the characters and the moments are genuinely funny. Praise be my son Miles. The movie in general is so wholesome that you just can't help but root for the characters. The songs were really hit and miss. Like, some of them were, end my life now, how can this be going on so long? Has the person who wrote this ever heard a human speak human words before? And some of them were kind of a bop. All in all, very weird experience. Miles for class president. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss future videos. I have a whole playlist of movie recaps and reviews. Do consider checking them out if you haven't seen them before. If you like what I do here and you would like to support this channel, you can become a channel member. You get some goofy little emotes and comment priority. The links for my gaming channel, my Twitch and everything else is all in the description below. The best way to support this channel is via the Patreon. With that, I must give a big shout out and a thank you to my giant chickens and colossal quackers over on Patreon. Especially Connla. God damn it, Connla. Most importantly, have a very lovely week, and I will see you really soon.